It is. But hey, we're live. We're doing the countdown. And today, or at least the news broke today, that the Tampa man who grabbed the 600 TD, that was given to him, I guess, technically.
Yeah.
He traded that in.
Yes.
Okay. He got $1,000 to the team store, another game ball. He's going to get like a signed helmet and, something really good, Tom Brady said. What would you get? I'm holding out for much more than that. What do you get? What are you taking, Stoner?
I'm giving the ball. I'm just giving him the ball. It's not my ball. It's his ball. I'm giving him the ball, and he can give me whatever he wants to give.
Wrong answer. Trev, what are you getting out of this?
I need season tickets. I need $5,000 in team merchandise plus $1,000 in cash, and I need chauffeur services to the game everywhere I go, home and away. I'm pulling up fancy.
Right. When we come back, it's day after reckoning here on Ref the District.
Thomas is in. Touchdown, Washington. Lofting one. He's got a man. It's McLaurin in stride. Touchdown, Washington. Hands it back. Chase Young. They're chasing him down the sideline. And Chase Young has a Washington touchdown.
And he does
He's just like, come on.
that makes me laugh every time.
That deserves a wow.
Greetings and salutations. I can't speak this evening.
Whoa.
Welcome to Ref the District's day after reckoning against the Green Bay Packers. Pack it in. The stumbling buffoon in front of you is Nathan Perry. And with me, of course, my co-host. We got Trevor.
Good evening.
Very subdued, Trevor.
Apparently. And that last voice there is Stoner.
What's up, boys? Good to see you. It feels like it's been a minute since we talked.
It has. It does.
It's been a little bit. Of course, we stream live every Monday or every day after for these day after reckonings, where we're going to break down the Washington football team's performance and what our thoughts on it. We always encourage people to join us as well. In fact, let me go ahead and put. I'll wait till where we go. This one's good. You can actually join our chat. So you just go ahead and DM us, whether or not that's on Facebook or on Twitter. We'll get you a link. You can actually join us. If you don't have video, that's fine. You'll still be popped up here. People hear your voice. Call in. Let us know, because we are sponsored by Pacers Running, and we are running our rears off to make sure that we give you guys good content. Of course, we're also supported by you being in the chat. Patrick is in our YouTube chat. What's up, Patrick?
Yeah.
Guys, hail the Washington football team in here day in and day out, despite the fact that the team continues to be disappointing. We want to talk about this game against the Green Bay Packers, which ended in a Washington football team loss.
You don't say.
It did.
Again?
The way people are reacting, you would think that people really expected Washington to win this game.
Okay, you want to know why? Because in the games like the Saints, the Chiefs, and the Packers, they have shown us during the game they could possibly win this game, literally. Because all three of those teams, especially the Chiefs and the Packers, really didn't show us much of anything that they show the rest of the league that got them to what they are today. And the Saints was just fluky plays, but you know what I mean? And then it just vanishes. So that's why we react that way, because they actually give us hope that, hey, we can shock the world.
When you were looking at the schedule in the off season before training camp even started, and you looked at the schedule and you said, okay, we've got the Chargers. Don't know about that. Maybe we can win that. Then you say the Giants, dub. Who was after that? Help me out here. Bills, you were like, that's a loss, right? Saints, we should win that one. That should be a W. Chiefs, that's a loss. Packers, that's a loss. So during the course of the game, you kind of felt like you would win the game, or there's a chance for you to win the game. But realistically, you have no business beating Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau. You have no business.
It could have happened. Like he didn't blow us out. They only won by 14. The Chiefs Well, they scored.
There's a
3.
lot of points
like,
being left out there, but
Yeah,
hey,
they
were
are
left out there. Okay,
They
that's
are.
the
Yeah, I
problem.
know. That
This is
the
the
problem.
team of almost. Maybe that's what they're going to be called: the Washington almosts, the Washington what ifs, the Washington maybe
need a quarterback.
next year.
Washington
Quarterback
needs
would be helpful, but the quarterback wasn't the only problem yesterday.
No, it's not. But for the season, it is.
The largest. I'm not saying Taylor Heinecke isn't the
Yeah.
biggest problem that Washington football team has. Okay, realistically, it's not just Taylor Heinecke; it's just that position in total. Because realistically, we're not. I don't think Kyle Allen's doing all that much better, because otherwise they would at practice. If he was that much better, we probably would be seeing him already.
I'm telling you, we lose to Denver, we see Kyle Allen against the Bucs after the bye.
It's quite possible.
It depends on how the game against Denver goes. If you lose 38-37 and Heinecke throws for 410 and 3 touchdowns, then you're not going to see Kyle Allen.
Okay,
but if you lose 27-10, for example, and again you leave all these points out on the field, then there's a possibility that you're going to see somebody else. But I will say, and we've talked about this time and time again, right? Mm-hmm. There's a reason Kyle Allen is the 3rd string quarterback. He is QB3 for a reason. Yeah, he's not going to come in here and all of a sudden turn the season around. So you might as well just keep riding it out with Heinecke, unless he just starts throwing up all over himself. Then that's a different story.
Are we playing anybody else that he's emotionally tied to?
Emotionally tied to?
He came out before this game. I've loved, the Green Bay Packers growing up. A big Brett Favre fan, and he did not play like vintage Brett Favre.
He was more worried about Lambeau leaping than actually scoring the touchdown.
What an embarrassment, by the way.
Yes,
how bad was that?
He didn't even congratulate his teammates. Leap. Yeah, as soon as he scored, quotation
he wanted
for the
to
audio.
Do the Lambeau leap.
Yeah, he wanted to do that.
He did the leap, and
with
then they
one
were like,
Washington fan right there.
Wait a minute.
One Washington fan. That was the funny part. There was one Washington fan there, and he found him.
What
about all the other guys who? What about all the other guys who do the Lambeau leaps? We don't complain about that.
No, they didn't have touchdowns called back.
Well, okay, but he didn't know that. It's not like he was like, "Oh, it's not a touchdown," but wait, let me go do a Lambeau leap first.
Can we talk about that right now? Can we talk about that right now?
Which part?
That part. Why doesn't he just run it in? I don't get it.
Yeah,
I just think that he went to go further dive just to get it in there because he felt maybe that the defender was closer. Not entirely certain here.
He dives
John joining us in the chat. Yeah, he likes the pylons. John in the chat here says Heinecke looks way worse without Scary Terry pulling down everything within 10 yards of him. If this man has, what did we say, 18 or 19 contested catches, which is 8 more than the next highest player in the NFL right now. But he did have a bad drop during this game. Don't want to hear excuses. Got to catch
it was a bad drop. Balls. Yeah, he had two drops. Didn't he have another drop at, just in the middle of the field, wherever that was kind of a low pass, and it was almost the same thing, kind of hit right off his chest.
He had one hit him off the shoulder.
Something like that, yeah. But there is one thing that I do have just a slight problem, and I don't want to take anything away from Terry McLaurin. I think he is Washington's best football player. He's the most talented player they have, that's for sure. He's a top 15 wide receiver in the NFL. However, can you catch the ball with your hands?
Yeah.
Right? Can you reach out and go snag the ball like some of these other guys do?
Yeah,
I mean, he's a body catcher.
And that's why he is the contested catch status so high.
Yeah, right. So it's hard for me to complain when obviously he's extremely talented and he catches anything that's close. But there are a couple of times where he's doing like this, and a defender gets his hand in there and knocks it away. And maybe if he had his hands outstretched to snag the ball, they're not knocking that ball away. But it's hard. Again, I'm nitpicking for sure.
No,
I'm
you're good.
nitpicking on a great wide receiver.
I was about to say one of, if not the best player on the team, and you're definitely being very nitpicky. But hey, we're frustrated. Yeah. We're getting out our emotions here on our day after reckoning, and you too can join us. Just DM us either on Twitter or Facebook. We'll shoot you a link, and then you can join us. In fact, we're going to go ahead and bring in our first guest here that's called in. My man better be taking care of himself. It looks like he's in the car. Toothpick. Gonna make Toothpick the big guy here from Toothpick from First String Podcast.
Yes, sir.
Taylor Heinecke's obviously a problem, right? But what else does this team have to do besides get a quarterback? Because I don't think they're just a quarterback away. What else do they need to start getting some wins?
Okay, first off, let me apologize for being out of uniform with this blue on. I'm just coming from work.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering, like, is he a Giants guy?
I know. I got the late shift today.
No,
so let me apologize for being out of uniform and say thank you for letting me chop it up with y'all for a little bit. So first off, we are solid on our offensive line, and we have a lot of depth right there. So we selected the correct players there, right? Mm-hmm. But where we're talent deficient is still in our wide receiver core. Besides our number one wide receiver, the second guy that we brought in has played for a game and a quarter.
20 minutes.
Right. For 20 minutes, right? Just enough time to collect the paycheck.
Yeah.
Behind the tight end, we did the correct thing with Ricky Seals-Jones, Pretty Ricky, what they call him.
Mm-hmm.
And Bates is a rookie, and so you kept Samus Reyes, but your number one guy is gone at that position too. So offensively, we're a couple of more pieces away. Defensively is where most of the problems lie, especially in the secondary. You have no leader in the secondary. You have no leader at linebacker, and up front, everybody's young. So what was supposed to be our strength is basically a nursery. You know what I mean? Like you got no. I did an interview with Chris Baker last week, and he said London Fletcher, D Hall, they would hold everybody accountable, and they would literally tell coaches, get this dude off the field because he ain't ready.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Ioannidis has 6 years in the league.
Yeah.
So he ain't putting nobody off the field. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there somebody? Why isn't Landon Collins doing that?
Well, Landon Collins might be one of the problems.
Landon's play sucks. So if you suck, how could you tell a coach to take somebody off the field when you're the person that should be taken off the field?
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you.
He did play a low snap count this game, and unsurprisingly, one of his best graded out games by PFF. So just get him just that little bit of time, and maybe Landon Collins as a downhill linebacker, even if he wants to call himself a safety, might come around.
He's a safety that plays downhill.
He was definitely our best linebacker this week. I mean, Jamin Davis did great, but that new number 26 linebacker that we had this week did outstanding.
Yeah, not bad. So, Toothpick, if we lose to Denver, if Washington loses to Denver this week, and Taylor Heinecke has another average so-so game, are we looking at Kyle Allen against Tampa after the bye week?
I hope not, and I hope not for this reason right here. Kyle Allen or Fitz may actually get in the game and do something great, play above their ceiling, and cost us draft positions. Like, I hate to say this, right? But listen, I said we need more than just a quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
I watch a little bit of college football. Georgia has 3 outstanding linebackers that'll be gone quick, right?
Mm-hmm.
The defensive end from Oregon, I don't care about him. We have defensive ends. Let him go. But there is more talent. Safety. Oh, my God. Georgia has a safety that just flies. He's a blur when you watch him. There's a couple of other talented safeties out there and some really good corners coming out. So if the draft is more about the draft is about more than just quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. So there are talented pieces coming out this year. It just happens to be all defensive, and we need help on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hear
good point there.
We missed
I
out.
think it's a little early at 2-5 to be talking about draft.
It's
They're a game and
extremely
a half
early.
away from the playoffs at this point. So
Exactly.
this was the hard part of their schedule. Stoner brought it up just a moment ago. Like, you expect them to lose against the Chiefs, the Green Bay. We're probably going to lose against Tampa, right? You know, the Bills were going to be a game that most people chalked up as a loss. The Chargers was a coin flip. We lost that coin flip. You know, realistically, the only games out of the 5 that they've lost that really people should have expected to win was that Saints game. And I mean, if you listen to Coach, there were only 4 to 5 plays out of that game.
Yeah,
right.
Coach is delusional on that one.
Coach is going to say things that makes his players look good and really nothing else. Try to stay away from controversy. He's never going to say
because we don't need any more of that in this
real.
organization. So why would he do that?
Well, he's not going to say anything that everyone else is saying. He's not going to sit there and say Landon Collins has sucked at safety. He's not going to say that. So he's just going to say things, and
as in,
our
like, we're going to move
responses,
the linebacker. That was his.
All our responses are going to be, "Why are you saying that? Landon Collins sucks," you know. But he's not going to say that. He's a classy guy. He's never going to call a guy out. Oh man, it's just another Monday there.
It's another bad Monday.
Yes.
Hey,
Misery Monday.
I appreciate y'all letting me chop it up with y'all. Now I gotta get home.
Yes,
all right,
you take care of yourself. Drive safe there,
it, bro.
Toothpick. First String
Yes, sir.
Podcast.
Later.
Shout out to Toothpick for joining us here. And you too can join us on the chat. Just DM us. We'll shoot you a link, and we will love to have you on here with us. Talk to us about your feelings on the game. I got
another
the
feeling.
Beard showing up in the chat here. He would love to hear Ron just straight out just say,
"No, you wouldn't.
You suck."
I have to take umbrage with that, Beard. You do not want your head coach just killing the guys, talking about how bad they're playing and everything. You'll lose the locker room. You'll lose the support of most of the fans. you just can't. You can't do that. Guys, coaches who do that find themselves out of jobs pretty quick because they just don't have the trust of
the players. Also won't want to play for somebody who does that.
That's what I'm saying. You lose the players that way.
Speaking of losing things, let's talk about Antonio Gibson, because I think that's something that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
Jared Patterson needs to see some carries. It's time.
Something needs to happen there. J.D. McKissic, I think, is a good piece, but I don't think that he's like the answer to that, right?
Because neither one of them can keep their feet. Have you guys noticed that whenever they see that they have room to run, they get excited and they stumble I don't know how many times we saw AG get up and go, God.
Yeah. He's pounding the ground because he got tripped or something like that.
One step. It's like, well, keep
away.
your feet. And the fumbles, man, I'm telling you what. That's got to be addressed. Like, in a stern way, not a hey.
Here's the thing. I encourage some patience with running backs who have fumbling issues. If we remember who's probably another 4 years, and this guy's going to be a Hall of Famer, had fumbling issues in the first 2 to 3 seasons of his career, and that was Adrian Peterson. Yeah. You can turn that around. All right.
Absolutely. You can.
So he's definitely explosive, but my man, this guy has got to stop putting the ball on the field. I'm tired of seeing it. That Washington had 4 times that they were within the 30-yard line. They're in scoring position, and they don't come away with points. And one of those was his fumble.
Yeah.
It was 5 times. Well, it was 7 times. 7 times they were inside the 30, and they scored 10 points. They scored a field goal in a touchdown. So there were 5 times where they did not.
Nah, Beard, it's an issue, but it's an issue.
He's lost quite a few fumbles. I definitely disagree with the Beard here, saying that it's a narrative being spun. There are big fumbles. This year, it was an issue last year, and that's where I will agree with the Beard. Is this year it's surprising that it's popping up. We also got Josh in the chat. What's up, Josh? And of course, EP here, Jazzy is so happy to hear Trev say that Jared Patterson needs some more carries.
Give him a shot. Why not? I mean, give Gibby the Bruce Arians treatment. Ronald Jones, whenever he fumbles, what happens to him? Where's he at rest of the game? And then he comes back the next game and has a better game. Maybe I don't know, but you need to show that, hey, it's a problem. Don't let it become a problem before it's a problem. I hate that saying. 3 big fumbles, that's a problem already.
2 big fumbles. They recovered that fumble. Chase Roulier
it doesn't matter.
The fumble, so it's not a big fumble.
Bro,
he fumbled. It's not a big fumble. It's a big fumble if you lose it.
Statistically, a fumble is a fumble, regardless of who recovers
big or
it.
not.
Okay,
recovery,
there's a fumble, and there's a lost fumble.
Okay, yeah, but
what's
the thing?
What's the key word in both of those things?
It's a fumble. If you're coughing up the ball, that's a problem because statistically, really, who recovers is random.
Right, but he did not cough up the ball.
Yeah,
coughing up the ball is giving the ball to the other team.
Bro, do you think it's a coaching problem? Because he's not the only one who's fumbled the ball.
No, it's not a coaching problem. Fumbles happen every team, every game. If a guy does it more often than not, I'm with the beard on this one. I had a problem with the first thing he said, although he kind of said it sarcastically, which is okay. But with this one, I'm with him. I don't think it's a problem.
It's a problem.
It could be a problem if it continues. 7 games.
It's a problem.
He's fumbled the ball 3 times. He's lost 2 in 7 games.
The point of him
could be 3 times. He's fumbled 3 times.
He has fumbled 3 times.
It's a problem.
In 7 games.
Right.
That's awful, dude.
That's not a good statistic.
You're right, but it's not a problem yet. Okay. Well, let's talk about it next time. Let's table this.
All right, I'll see you next Monday. We'll talk about it.
We'll see how he does. Okay, fair enough.
But I got a couple of things anyway that I thought maybe we could discuss.
Okay.
Right? What?
I'm
it was like an announcement.
No, I was just trying to jump in there. Sorry.
No,
but here's something that I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on. And that is, remember a couple of weeks ago, and Ron Rivera said very famously, it caused quite a bit of an uproar when he said, basically, I'm not quoting him directly, he said, it's almost as if it would have been better had we not won the division last year, and therefore the expectations would be lower. He got murdered for that, basically. Right. Everyone was all over him. We don't do low expectations. You should always have the highest, whatever. Everybody was killing him for saying that, right? You know what, though? I think he's absolutely 100% right. He probably shouldn't have verbalized it as the head coach of the team. However, he's absolutely right. If, for example, let's say last year the Giants go 9-7 and we go 7-9, and the season plays out almost exactly as it did from Washington's standpoint. They had a good second half of the year, the defense, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And they had finished second and didn't make the playoffs and all that other stuff. The expectations going into this year would have been way lower. And then, but maybe also within the front office, maybe their expectations would have been lower, and they might have said, okay, maybe we should move up to get a quarterback, rather than saying, well, look, we won a division with this defense. Let's leave that defense and let's just get a plug and play quarterback and let's go. This is the coach's team. This is a coach-centric team. Mm-hmm. He's the one hiring. He's the one making the decisions. That's what I mean. Coach,
so he just did it to himself. I honestly think it's not just the fact that they won, because they were 7-9. The fact that they won the NFC East was not what got people hyped, right? What got people hyped was the fact that they played Tampa, the eventual Super Bowl champion, and actually looked like a real football team.
Yeah.
They were competitive in that. Yeah, they did not look like a 7-9 team, because I think if they limp into the playoffs at 7-9, get blown out by Tampa Bay and get embarrassed at home, then everybody goes in the season thinking, yeah, they're not the team, and the expectations would have been lower. I think it's a mixture of the fact that they won the East and then did well, performed well, or at least reasonably well against Tampa Bay. That's what said it. And even our expectations were high. You know, I made the announcement on Wednesday's show that you had the Ashburn syndrome, right? So that
was an organization thing. That wasn't the team on the field thing. I got Ashburned by the organization.
They're part of the organization.
Yeah, but I know. But I was just talking about the off the field stuff, basically.
Oh.
But but right. If they're winning, then a lot of that other stuff off the field is not as noticed as much, for sure.
Yeah.
So that does play a part in it. So I was just kind of wondering about that. If you guys thought that it's probably would have been better if the expectations were lower, because maybe, like I said, maybe they say, well, maybe we should go ahead and go after a quarterback and develop him for a couple of years instead of thinking, well, we have the team to win right now. Everywhere else, let's just get a quarterback. Let's just get a Fitzpatrick, and we should be great.
And that's exactly what they were trying to do, and that's what they did do until Ryan Fitzpatrick got hurt, obviously. But I agree with you. And then today he said that he now notices that they have not. I mean, he knows that they have not met the expectations that were set for this team at the beginning of the year. He admitted that today in some presser today. So I agree with that 100%. And Nathan, I agree with it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The other thing I wanted to bring up is, remember when we were talking about in the preseason in the preseason, and we were all kind of arguing is not the right. We were debating over the 6th and 7th and 8th wide receivers, right?
Yeah.
And what did we say? We said, look, if Dax Milne and Antonio Gandy Golden are getting minutes, the wheels have fallen off.
Okay,
right?
So
and that's exactly what happened.
Dax has been playing since day one. He's been getting minutes since day one.
But that's a problem. That's a problem if he's getting minutes from day one. That means Curtis Samuel's not playing. That means
which has been
probably Cam Sims is not playing. That means De'Ami Brown is not playing.
Yeah.
So
what are you saying?
That's what happened, right? We were worried all along that if these guys who are at the end of the roster are playing, the wheels have fallen off. And that's exactly what's happened.
But guess what else happens, though? We really don't know that because Taylor won't throw any of those guys the ball. Think about it. We don't know that.
He's a backup quarterback.
I know.
He's a backup quarterback at best, throwing to a second-string tight end, the number 4, 6, and 7 wide receiver.
Okay. So he should have a great rapport with them, with the receivers that are in right now, right? So give him a chance.
He can have all the rapport he wants. They just don't have the talent. It's just very simple. Right now, offensively, they don't have the talent.
I just hope he wasn't a Denver fan at some point in his life either, because we play them next week. I'm not trying to hear.
You really like John Elway, and
God,
he ran the ball. We'll see. We'll see what's going on. I wanted to talk about the what Toothpick brought up there. Okay.
All right.
During his call. And if you want to let us know, get out your emotions, just let us know. You can DM us on Twitter or Facebook. We'll shoot you a link, and you can get in here with us. But he brought up the draft. This team is 2-5. This was, we're going to mix couple things here. Expectations. This was a 3-13 team just 2 seasons ago. They were 7-9 last year.
Right.
At this point last season, they weren't looking really good, and then they had a late season surge. They're 2-5. The hardest part of their schedules is over, right? And as far as the most difficult games going forward, you got to figure. I mean, not to say Denver's going to be an easy game. No game's going to ever be easy for the Washington football team.
No.
But realistically, the Tampa game and I would say those Dallas games are probably the ones that as a fan probably intimidate me the most as far as opponents are concerned.
Fair.
Seattle could, if Seattle has Wilson back, but if it's not Wilson, I think Seattle's a very winnable game. Now, so I'm saying at 2-5, I don't think it's time to sit there and look, especially if you look at the teams, because right now I think Washington's picking 8. If you look at those 7 teams that are ahead of them right now, I don't think Washington's going to lose less games than them. I think those teams are pretty bad, and they're all going to be in contention for the first round, the first overall pick. And Washington's going to be still stuck anywhere from 8 to 15. And here's the thing, guys. I always say play to win. You don't build a winning culture by what Philadelphia did just last year and pulling at the goal line your mobile QB to put in some guy who no offense to that QB, but a guy who knows not going to be the guy next year.
I'll say it for you, Nathan. Nate Sudfeld sucks.
Okay?
Nate Sudfeld sucks. Okay,
He was a great backup here, though. He really was.
Held the clipboard wonderfully so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never want to start talking about tanking 7 games into the season, especially now you have that extra game. You got 17 games. But I will say this: cart this up, do whatever you have to do, record this, do what you have to do. This team is winning at least 7 games, probably 8 games. It doesn't feel like it right now, but we just went through, like you said, like Nathan said, we just went through the toughest part of the schedule. This team is going to win some games going down the stretch. They've got winnable games against Denver, against Seattle, even with Russell Wilson. I don't think Seattle is that good of a team. Against Carolina, against the Giants, against Philadelphia twice.
2 games against
I'm
Philadelphia.
not saying they're going to win these games, right? These are all winnable games. So let's not get to the point now where we think we're going to lose every single game, because they're not. I mean, they're not going 3-14. They're not going 4-13. They're not. So
I for my way too early schedule prediction I did for full press coverage back in May, I said we're going 12-5. We're 2-5 right now. We can win 10 in a row.
You can still win 10 in a row.
Got it. You can win out. You're still alive.
Still alive.
Yeah.
You're still alive. Well, we're still live, and we're actually going to bring into the chat here Brandon from Titletown Lounge. We're going to try not to let him gloat too much here.
We almost had just safety on you. That was so close.
Right. What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Brandon?
2 appearances on Ref the District in less than a week.
So, Brandon, at any point yesterday, did you feel like Green Bay was in trouble?
Be honest.
At any point. Yeah.
No.
Just, that natural feeling.
He was like,
no.
Well, I mean, at any point, I didn't think Washington was going to win. Not at any point in the game. So I get it.
But I did tell you guys when I was on your show, it was going to be a respectable game. I did say that. I think it was, for the most part. It was. Could have been a 1-score game had Taylor Heinecke ran it in and not done the Lambeau leap. Instead, obviously, we know what happened. But I mean, it was kind of what I expected, to be honest with you guys. Friday over at Fansided, I have an article that comes out every Friday of what to watch for the Packers, and I said this could be a trap game. I didn't think it may have been, but the possibility was there. You got Arizona for the Green Bay Packers on Thursday night. They could have peeked ahead a little bit. I knew Taylor Heinecke could get out of the pocket and create some problems, and he did. He outrushed the Green Bay Packers whole team combined. So I knew that was going to create some problems. You knew Scary Terry McLaurin was going to cause issues on the outside, especially with a completely depleted secondary in Green Bay. I mean, we're down to our 4th and 5th cornerbacks right now over in Green Bay. So I knew that was going to cause an issue, but ultimately I knew that Aaron Rodgers was going to prevail. I knew that it was going to be kind of ugly. It was ugly for the first part of that half. It was pretty ugly. Obviously Green Bay pulled away right at the second, at the end of the second quarter, going into halftime, and it kind of, and then it flipped right away, right?
I saw that. I was like, yep, you found out.
Caused the turnover. You get the ball back. You go up 21-7. And from there, it was kind of said and done. But it's a scratch. I also wrote about that front four, that it does not get talked about enough. I know their production may not be what everybody wants it to be. I know everybody wants in Washington and fans of the football team want 20 sacks a year out of Chase Young. But I'm telling you, man, quarterback pressures are better than sacks. I know it sounds crazy, but I believe it. Packers outside linebacker coach Mike Smith over here in Green Bay, he preaches it to his guys. He says, get pressures. Don't worry about sacks. Good things will happen. And they pressured Aaron Rodgers. They obviously got to him a handful of times, but they were always in his face. And the Packers couldn't run the ball. There's 57 yards on a team that averages over almost 130 yards a game to have 57 yards. And that was the weird part. I'm actually in the middle of writing my article for tomorrow. Tonight, they only rushed the ball 9 times, the Packers.
Yeah.
I found that to be, odd, especially in a LaFleur offense. His scheme is dependent on the run. And if the run is not successful, like most teams, you're more times than not, you're going to fail, so that was something that stuck out to me. Only 9 carries out of the 2 running backs for Green Bay, which was really odd, but it was a scrappy game. It was a game that a lot of people said it was going to be a boat race. The Packers will win by 50. They're at home. You know, I didn't. I knew Washington presented some problems, and that was showcased on Sunday.
Oh man!
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, Brandon. I hopefully never talk to you about that.
I told you, me and Trev, we had a little bit of a discussion over Twitter. You're one, and I know it's a big piece, but look at Chicago. Like, they thought they had their quarterback of the future, and they may still have him, but they're a disaster right now. I don't think Taylor Heineke's all that bad. I really don't. I know you guys have different opinions. I know you've watched him more. What I see in him is a lot of, he's young. He's got a lot to provide. Dude scraps though. I mean, there was plays he got up where he was limping. He didn't quit all the way till the end, even though they were down by 2 scores with like 40 seconds left. He's still scrambling for first downs and getting hit, going out of bounds. I think he's got maybe not star. Let's be honest, probably not star potential, but he's a decent player. And you guys are, and you
we'll trade him for Aaron Rodgers and
we're not going to do that. We're not
behind Jordan Love.
We're not going to do that. I'm gonna tell you right now. I told you guys on what day did you have me on? Thursday, maybe
Wednesday. Yeah,
Wednesday. There's a bunch of teams that would love Jordan Love right now. A bunch of teams.
Well, we'll take them. What the hell?
The Jets just traded for Flacco. Yeah, it's not easy to find QBs that are good. Yep. Unfortunately for Washington, Brandon, your team has a really good one, and our team does not have a good one. Whether or not I know, Brandon, you said you like them. Like I said, you can have them, but we need some. Maybe just give us
for free.
We'll do
one for we don't even nothing back. Just take them.
I think we're going to see a lot more trades. You know, the NFL trade deadline, it's kind of quiet. You know, there's a couple. You know, here's a 6th-round pick for unannounced 7th rounder or whatever. Yeah. You're starting to see a lot more traction. I think Deshaun Watson's going to get a lot more traction.
He's coming to Washington.
From people that I've heard, that I've spoken to, Carolina is leading that race right now, which is wild because they just traded for
Sam Darnold, who looks great. He looked great for the first 3 games, and then reminded people that this is Sam Darnold. But Brandon, we're gonna have to let you go. We're gonna get we're gonna have another caller come in, but we appreciate you jumping on and setting the record straight. Right, as I'm kind of happy to hear the game wasn't as close as we felt it was, because I think most Washington fans thought that this game was pretty close. So it sounds good that Green Bay fans were not even worried. They had it in control this entire time. But thank you, Brandon, for joining us.
Thanks.
How does that sound good?
Makes me feel better, Trev.
All right, Brandon. Have a good one, guys.
You should pack it in, then, Nathan. What are you talking about? It feels good to hear the Packers fan news under control. Who are you working for, Nathan? Who are you working for?
Who are you? Are you undercover?
Football team. It is what it is, guys. It is what it is. All right. They're not a good team. We felt like they were close. Like this game, we just talked about the bumbling mistakes they had, and we were like, they could have been there. You know, this is like Ron Rivera's. They're 4 to 5 plays away from winning this game, and just to have the opposing side go, never really a concern for us. So, but my man Corey here is going to set us straight and let us know his thoughts here on the day after reckoning. Corey from On the Warpath.
Hi guys.
Look,
remember, it's Mr. Sanchez now. Remember, he's an administrator now.
Stoner, stop that! Don't you do that. I said I'd be doggone if I had somebody that served in the military to call me sir or Mister. So I'll be doggone still today.
Corey.
Trev, you can still call me Mister, but that's all
right. Well, since I'm Mister, I'm gonna go first up in this thing. Then, all right, I got a hot one for you right here.
Go ahead, bro.
We lose against Denver next Sunday. Taylor Heinecke has a bad game. I'm talking 3 picks, 2 touchdowns. Do we go to Kyle Allen after the bye for the Bucks?
Is water wet? The bears crap in the woods? Yes. I'm tired of this Heinecke.
Thank you very
tired
much.
of the Heinecke syndrome. The guy is not good. Is he fun to watch? Does he have my?
No, he's not even fun to watch. No. know.
He's fun to watch now. He can be
watch.
tantalizing. He can be tantalizing. Let's not disrespect
He
him.
scores that touchdown and doesn't put his knee down. He's fun to watch.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna be fun to watch. Yeah, he's gonna do the Lambeau leap like Gus Frerotte going up into the wall and everything. But still, man, this Heinecke, we celebrate a guy who almost does it. And here comes the joke. Us coming short in the red zone. I didn't know if I was watching football or a Viagra commercial because something we still could not get to the point.
No,
what is wrong with this team, y'all? No.
It's not Scott Turner. It's not. It's just literally
it's
Taylor
all
Heinecke.
It's all in Bama's there. It's Heinecke, it's Scott Turner, it's Ron Rivera. I mean, he makes more excuses than somebody's ex-girlfriend. Jack Del Rio, what is he doing?
All right. Well, you know what? All you guys are probably too young to know this reference. But look, Tim Duncan ain't walking through that door. Right? That's something way back when the Celtics, I don't want to go into the whole thing, but Rick Pitino said when he didn't get the Tim Duncan #1 draft pick, he said, look, Tim Duncan ain't walking through that door.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody that's going to walk through that door that's going to save this franchise.
Kyle
Allen is not going
not
to save this
franchise.
No,
he's
a
a
third
string
give him a
quarterback.
Give him a chance.
He's a
What
third
What do we have to
string.
lose?
Look, Trev,
if
that's your justification for playing somebody, well, why not? What do we got?
Throw
to
Logan
lose?
Thomas back when he gets healthy. Throw
I
Logan
like
Thomas.
that.
back.
Just throw Logan Thomas in there.
I agree with
I mean,
Why
that.
don't we
we
just
gotta
run the
lose?
single wing? Run the single wing or something with Terry
Give him a
McLaurin
chance.
taking all the
Maybe
snaps.
he'll look somewhere else besides Terry McLaurin.
All right.
Nothing against Terry, but there are other receivers on the field, and he would know that if he just looks.
Now,
They
I
might
have
not
no
be
problem
open,
with
but
him targeting
look.
Terry McLaurin 15 times, and
I do
because
it
you got a
does-
better
he
chance.
he stares him
Dax
down the whole time, and then come on, man.
It
So
works.
you would-
though.
He's bad.
So
sometimes.
Corey, you would go to Kyle Allen. I mean, would you
Yep.
go to Kyle Allen if Heinecke just has an average game? You're going to him no matter what. You're just done with him.
I think that at this point, you got to go. You got to
Thank
switch
you.
hands. You got to switch
Thank you.
hands on this.
Thank you. If he
I-
can't beat Denver,
If he can't go out there and smoke some smoke and beat Denver up there in that mile high air, then it's just not going. We've seen his best. Week 2 and
Mhm.
week 4 were Taylor Heinecke at his best. That's it. And
Have you seen Kyle Allen's best? Have we seen Kyle
Yeah.
Allen's best?
Last
Yeah,
year
it was
before he
against
got hurt.
Dallas. Against
Yeah.
Dallas, we saw him.
Okay.
Really?
And
Let's
it was.
let's
and
be
it
honest.
was-
be honest, Corey.
Let's
What?
be honest
Go
now,
ahead.
Stoner.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
That in that Giants game, and I give him
Yes.
credit and blame in that.
Mhm.
I think he made he made that goofball decision that cost us points on him when he fumbled. But for the
Cost
most
us
part,
the game.
yeah, he cost us the game.
Cost us the game.
And I
Like
mean,
the-
well,
like Taylor
Dustin,
Heinecke
we
does
could
every
blame
day,
Dustin
every
Hopkins
week.
and cut him again either way. But but either way, when we look at that, right, guys, Kyle Allen kept us in games outside that Rams game when he got knocked out. But they were all competitive games.
Mhm.
Taylor Heinecke.
Almost. Do you hear what you're saying, though, Corey?
No,
That's
no,
almost.
No. Listen, they were
Horseshoes and-
competitive.
They were competitive. I didn't say they
That means we
won.
score points.
Horseshoes and hand grenades is almost. That's all it is. And then I heard something about tanking earlier. Tanking is the corniest thing. One, because you actually have to be good to tank. And two, you got to run on and see what the end's going to be. That's what the church folks always said. And I live by that. You go and win as many games as you can. And it's the
100%.
most Washington thing, though. And kind of like what Stoner was saying, they're going to win like 3 or 4 more games at least by minimum, just because they're going to be too ignorant to actually lose when they should lose. And it's going to happen. So,
Right.
I mean, you got to, this is why you trade up. It's a reason why the Chiefs did not stand pat for Patrick Mahomes. They went up, they saw the writing on the wall and went after him. It's a reason why the Bears went after Mitchell Trubisky.
right.
But yeah,
He's
it's a
better than
reason.
Heinecke.
Well, it's the reason.
Don't know about that.
It's the reason Washington traded 17 #1 picks for RG3
To
you
draft
have
Kirk
to do
Cousins.
it.
Yeah,
Exactly. I mean, you
Yeah.
have to do that.
Give up
You
everything
have
from
to-
the.
You have to do whatever it
Mhm.
takes to try and get your franchise quarterback.
Exactly.
And if it doesn't work, well,
If
you
it
put
doesn't work,
somebody
the
else
Saints
is
are
going
going
to
to continue
figure.
to look like what Corey has
Well,
behind him.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, since we have a long
ahead.
time till that happens, we need to do something right now to win. And I think you give the keys to Kyle Allen if we lose to Denver due to Taylor Heineke's ignorance on the field. Plain and simple.
Well, I'll say this, Trevor, and to Corey. I know
you give Kyle 2 weeks. That's 2
you
weeks.
guys
Corey,
are
to
both.
prep.
You guys are both on the. Let's just go to Kyle Allen. If they go to Kyle Allen, I will not be sitting here saying you're screwing up and you're doing it. I won't say that. I'll say, okay, I guess that's what we have to do. But I'm not in favor of doing it. But if we do it, I won't be protesting either. I won't be like on the Heinecke hive saying, no, you got to keep giving him shots.
There's no hive members here
Right,
on Ref the District.
Like,
No,
and
no.
I like what you said too, Stoner. No, see, Stoner's right there, right? Okay. Like I like what you said, Stoner, there, because like at the end of the day, I didn't believe it. I never believed in Heinecke. It took from the jump. I'll admit that. But
Mhm.
I understood that I needed to back off of him because at the end of the day, he is my quarterback.
Right.
He is my quarterback. But at the also, he pins it. I like him targeting Terry, but if that's all you got, and we've seen that all he was targeting was Terry and Logan Thomas. Logan Thomas ain't coming in there, so he's really just targeting Terry. I
Mhm.
think the only receivers that caught a ball up until like the second half, it was Terry, McKissick, and Gibson.
Maybe Humphrey's
Yeah.
in there once or twice.
No, Humphreys didn't catch
Not
it
until the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with Ricky
Yeah.
Seals Jones. He didn't
I
start
said-
getting catches
Yeah.
till the
I sit
second
here and look
half.
at the live stats. I sat here and I was here with Toothpick, and I looked at it. I was like, you
He
can't
hasn't
win
targeted
games.
anybody.
You
Yeah.
can't
That's
win
what I'm
games
saying.
with that.
That's my whole problem. That's
You're
my
right.
whole
Run
You're
the
right.
ball. And run the ball too. You need to run the ball. If I can live with Heinecke, if there is a concerted effort to run the ball. People say we can't run the ball. No, we refuse to run the ball, and
Refuse
that
to run
is
it.
the problem. Where
Yeah.
the heck is Jared
Preach.
Patterson at?
Thank
Put
you.
his
There you go.
butt
He's on
in
special
there.
teams. He's on
If-
special teams.
If my boy Antonio Gibson has shin splints, has a torn fallopian tube, I don't care. Put him and run the ball. See, people call me crazy, and people call me crazy when I say it's bad to get rid of Peyton Barber. Now, who has egg on their face? I'm just saying we
Right,
could have
right.
had another.
I was a Peyton
Nah.
Barber guy too. I'm
I'm
just
not a
saying.
Peyton
I was a
Barber
Peyton
guy.
Barber guy
My
too.
man.
Why? No. Here's the thing: we have to get close enough in order to utilize a player like Peyton Barber, and we don't get that close to the end zone. When we do, we fall short. Literally,
close
If
with
Peyton
there's no
Barber was
point.
on this roster,
We would have hit-
roster, he's getting the same number of touches as Jared Patterson, which is none. Okay, like one or two.
Possibly,
And then
possibly.
what he's doing with those touches is less than what we saw Jared Patterson get. At least Jared Patterson's exciting to watch. There's no reason to bring
Did they really
bring up that
think-
man's name. I do appreciate Jared Patterson needs to get some more action. All right, needs to get some more action.
I don't know. Again, he's a third.
No, it's. What do you
Oh,
mean?
what happened to everybody?
It's like a robot all of a sudden.
Is it me?
Yeah, it's you. We're having technical difficulties out there, everybody.
Whoa.
And there goes Nathan. He's gone. So, like
No,
I
he's-
was saying,
he's still in the back there. I don't think
now
that
bring
was.
it back in. Bring it
All
back.
I
right.
in.
don't think that was a.
There we go.
It wasn't Nathan. It was all of us.
Yeah,
was
I think
all-
all of us. There's
That
some
was a
storms
StreamYard
happening in
or
the
something.
area, so maybe
I
maybe
wasn't
that
even
has.
frozen.
Hopefully, Corey does well and stays safe. The Roger, shout out to Roger in the chat here. Attention details lacking. Clearly, situational football awareness, intelligence is in question. Just a badly coached team. They
Roger,
really
I
are.
agree. An example of that.
don't think
Okay, here's an example of that. How tall is Taylor Heinecke?
Like 6 foot,
No, he's not. Is he?
5'11", 6 foot. I mean, he's listed
like
at 6 foot.
5'11" and
So
He's listed at 6 foot. I mean,
we have Gibby back there. We have Jared Patterson, and we have McKissick.
Mhm.
Why? Who are all probably taller than Taylor, except for Jared. But Jared's stockier. Why are we trying to send Taylor Heinecke over the top for a quarterback sneak to score a touchdown when he's that?
Well, let me
when
ask.
he's that si-
Okay,
when he's that
let me
size?
ask. Let me ask you this, Trev. Why did Buffalo try to send 6'5", 220-pound Josh Allen over the top, and he failed to lose a game.
That's because but listen, but for the Josh Allen one, to be fair, that O lineman right there got manhandled. That's the only reason why. Taylor Heinecke couldn't even see over the pile to get over there to reach the ball over, causing a fumble. That's my whole problem. Why would we even try that?
I mean, I'm the guy who says when you have an inch to go or whatever, you want the shortest distance. So as soon as the guy gets the ball,
QB sneak was the
QB sneak is my guy every time.
Diving over was the wrong choice.
Okay. That's my problem.
QB sneak was good,
but that's not on the coaches.
The fact that you're having,
it might have been
Taylor Heinecke.
It might have been like, hey, just go over the top real quick. Like I don't think, So that's to prove Rodgers' comment correct.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
I'm just really mad at Taylor Heinecke. What else is new?
It's very easy. It's very easy to look at something in hindsight and say, why didn't you do this? But there are probably 100 plays that were the exact opposite, and you can say the same thing. You can pick out the Josh Allen who couldn't make it, or you can pick out the fumbled snap that Jalen Hurts had, and all he had to do was go a half a yard, and he couldn't even get the snap. What are you doing in shotgun? There's just so many ways to look at it. When you're a bad football team, somebody said it in the chat. It's already way back there. When you're a bad football team, bad things happen. There you go.
It was the beard. Unfortunately, this team is bad, and bad teams find a way to lose.
That's exactly right.
Which is exactly
100%.
That's those opportunities within the 30. This is just not a good football team. They're 2-5. They are who we thought they were.
Shout out Dennis Green one time.
Which is not a great football team right now.
Pour one out.
I do agree with Josh, who's in our chat. The defense definitely looks like they're starting to get there. I think that the communication issues. Now, this was a game that the highest paid corner that they have sat out, and Landon Collins played less time on the field. If that's the problem, and that's what some people are talking about, right? Bring back Reeves, who didn't seem to have those communication issues as the year went on. So I'm not saying that Reeves really is the answer. I'm big fan of his, but what the defense is doing, they did enough for the Washington football team to win yesterday. And the offense, whether or not you blame that on Heinecke, you blame that on Gibson, you blame that on Turner, whoever you want to blame that on, even if it's Ron,
points, man.
You gotta finish it. Ron, to Ron's credit, Ron did go for it on a couple fourth and shorts there in the red zone. Okay. Mm-hmm. They didn't make it, but at least he went for it. Yeah, now, some people, this is one of those, you're darned if you do, darned if you don't, right? Because he went for it, which I liked. I want that aggressive play calling down that far, especially if your defense is starting to do good. Now, it's Aaron Rodgers. He's going to have one of those 8-minute back-breaking drives, but you want to have that kind of play calling in there. The problem is they're not good enough. That's right. Even with Green Bay missing all those defensive players.
Two things. Our defense could be a lot better if our secondary players could just turn their heads and see the ball instead of just throwing their. And I know it's easy to say. It's not, but how come you see Trevon Diggs doing it? He's leading the leagues in picks.
Well, you also see Trevon Diggs watching guys, run past him.
But he still has 7
you
picks.
Saw
who was it that called him someone called him the Jameis Winston of cornerbacks. Like you're gonna see him get
a touchdown or a pick.
You're gonna get touchdown or you're gonna get a pick.
I'm saying though, like at least because we get a lot of PI calls against us too because we don't look to see the ball. So I'm just saying, but just turn your head sometimes.
Yeah, but I mean,
I know it's but hey, that's what we are. We're fans.
You're right.
We see it. I see it. You see it all the time. Like it happened yesterday. St. Juice could have had a chance to maybe, but
but did you see also? It was either St. Juice or Danny Johnson on that ridiculous Devontae Adams catch that he had down the sideline.
Yeah,
all over him. Had his head turned. Was all over. Was
who was the receiver?
Coverage.
was a
and
receiver.
Devontae Adams still caught it.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
He did everything right.
Well, that's fine.
And you still might not. You still might not get it.
But at least he did it. That's all I'm
Devontae
worried about.
Adams is a top 10 wide receiver. You sometimes
got
you're just going to lose
COVID now.
those battles.
But no matter
go-goes and no-goes.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's move on to go-goes and no-goes. Let's go ahead and one go-go from you, Trevor.
Oh, wow. A go-go for me. Taylor Heineke's legs. Just his legs.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Not him as a person, but his legs.
Awesome. So
Except for
assuming, I was about to say, I'm assuming then you're blaming his mental capacity then on the fact that he ended up short
his
of the goal line.
situational awareness is not that high, but his legs, they
his
show
legs
up fast.
got there. He scrambled. He did some good scrambles.
Running. What's that, Stoner? What was that? He was running. What's that? He was running.
That's Forrest Gump.
There we go.
There we go. We got a reference finally. The three of us, we understand a reference. Yeah. All right, Stoner, who's your go-go?
There are a few of them. Because so I'll just kind of give not quite a go-go. What we need what's the next level down from go-go. Again, the offensive line has been great all year. And they don't even have two of their starters. So I'm really happy with the offensive line. But my go-go was very simply Jonathan Allen. Jonathan Allen absolutely dominated the Green Bay offensive line. He did it with power. He did it with quickness. He did it with a couple of times he would just go and knock a dude out of the way and find himself at the quarterback, or he'd take up two blockers. And next thing you know, Matt Ioannidis is almost getting a safety on Aaron Rodgers. Jonathan Allen was fantastic. And it's great that Washington finally signed a guy. And after they signed him, he's balling
having
out.
A season,
not before
having a season, having
right
after they signed him, or after he's already been signed, he was balling out. Jonathan Allen, definite go-go.
That defensive line, I was pleased with what they did, what they brought to the table. So if I had to pick out one player not named Jonathan Allen, I thought Chase played a reasonable game. Montez Sweat obviously back in the backfield a couple times, but the defensive line as a whole, really impressive.
Yeah, they're coming together.
All right, let's go to our no-goes. Trevor, who you got?
Taylor Heineke's arm.
Nah, I'm gonna go with one that might not have been on him, but it kind of was. But it's his first kick. Chris Blewett. He's got to get his kicks a little higher in the league.
Yeah,
this isn't college anymore. No offense, but bring your kick up a little bit.
Hey, the ball went through the uprights, didn't it?
No, the one that got blocked.
Yeah, the one that got blocked went through the uprights. It did.
Did it?
If you watch it, it hit the ground. And then
I think I was too busy. I think I was too busy going to even see where the ball landed.
It was weird, and everyone was just trying to think, well, what's the rule that says that that's not a field goal because it hit the ground, got blocked, hit the ground, and then went through the uprights. So I don't know what the rule is.
Ladies and gentlemen, when he missed it, I get a little notification in my DMs from Stoner going $1.
yeah, because that's coming up.
Yeah, I know.
That's coming up.
That.
That's right after it. So your no-go, Stoner.
Tress Way, he sucked yesterday. Jeez, what is he doing?
First time in his career did not punt.
I mean, he didn't punt. What is he doing? I mean, he's just terrible.
And you know what? You could blame him for that kick getting blocked, right?
There you go. Yeah, he was actually out on the field.
That's fine. There's a lot of people who could be on this no-goes list.
Yeah, you can list a lot of.
I'm going to put Gibson on there, and I just I want to see the explosive player. I don't think he needs 25 touches to be great, but it's these shoestring tackles. I agree. I'm going to share a stat that Beard went and looked up for us. So he has 4 lost fumbles and 323 touches in 2 years. So I don't think the fumbling is that big of a problem, like a career problem. Yes, this is true.
It says lost fumbles. It doesn't say total number of fumbles. It just says lost.
This is true. That's not as bad. Like I said, that's fixable. That's fixable. But we need him to make more use of his touches. Otherwise, you're going to continue hearing EP and the gang call for Jarrett Patterson.
Keep your feet, Gibby. Just keep your feet.
Yeah, there's a lot of times. And also, it looks like a lot of times where he's coming to the line, he's already decided he's going to make a spin move.
Yes.
Right? He's like predetermined in his head. I'm making a spin move here.
Yep.
And then he spins, but then by the time he spins, there's somebody right there kind of not waiting for him.
Yeah, he gains more yards spinning than he
but
does.
Listen, the holes are there, right? The holes are there. The offensive line is making it possible.
Been good.
So
his feet, man, it's just his feet.
Yeah. And that simply could be a with his injury. That could be
or maybe he's just clumsy.
Or maybe he's
he's
had how many rushes did he have in college? He had like 33 rushes.
This is a converted wide receiver. But his hands haven't looked all that great either. So
that's what I'm saying, bro. You still run as a receiver. You got to use your feet. I don't care if you're a receiver, or tight end, or you got to use your feet, bro. Stoner, okay.
I'm a Gibson,
bro. No,
I'm a Gibson apologist. I'm a Gibson apologist.
You sound like it. You sound like it, but it's maybe I'm just a little harder on him because as we go transition here to Dalla, I had a certain wager on this saying that he would get quite a few touches. And
do you remember all of the wagers?
I do not remember all, but that's why you write them down on the board.
Let's do it.
Time to pay up. It's Dalla here on Ref the District. So let's hear what were the bets that were made.
All right, very first one. Trevor and Nathan both said Blewett would make everything. He did not. Stoner said he would not. He missed one. So that's one for Stoner. That's -1 for each of you.
Yeah, I know how it goes.
Trevor says Heinecke will have 3+ interceptions. And of course, what do you have? One? Just had the one interception?
He had the one interception, which was a mirror image of the
another -1 for Trevor there, and a positive for both Stoner and Nathan. We both took that bet.
Okay.
All right. Nathan and Trevor both said Washington football team running backs would have at least 25 carries. And
I really thought this was the time that they were going to do it.
They should have.
They were going to do
but
it.
They did not. So
my God.
Stoner gets +1 for that. Both Nathan and Trevor get -1 for that. Nathan and Stoner. I mean, Trevor's just bad at this. I'm sorry. Trev, you're bad at this Dalla game. I mean, you're just downright bad at it. But it's fun. It's fun, though.
It's fun. I can't wait until we start doing single game parlays, guys. It's going to be great.
Nathan and Stoners both said Washington football team defense would have at least 3 sacks. And they had 3. And Trevor bet against that. So, Trevor, you lost another one there.
Yeah, I know.
Stoner and Trev both said that Aaron Rodgers would have at least one 45-yard touchdown pass, and he did not. And Nathan went against that. And really here, you won one here, Trev. You won one.
No, say he's 0 for 5 right now. So
yeah,
let's go.
Stoner said that Devontae Adams would have at least 12 targets, and I think he only had like 7.
Let's go.
And only Trevor bet against it.
Yeah,
Nathan,
I abstained on that one.
So I think I did this earlier in my head. I don't know if it's for sure. I think Stoner was +2, Nathan was +1, and I think Trev was -4.
That is correct. That's what I just
did.
Right. That's the math I just did right now.
Let's do a recount of that.
That's pretty accurate for the game.
We have to do a recount tomorrow night.
The scores, if you want real quick, the scores that we predicted. Nathan had it 41-27 Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor had it 42-38 Green Bay. And Stoner had it 34-18 Green Bay.
And it was 24-10.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were who Brandon was talking about, which was
Brandon said you guys should put up some points. I'm like, have you watched us play offense? Though?
Well, we should have put up.
They had the opportunities. They had the opportunities, and they squandered them.
I will say though, if that plays out that way, if they score if Heinecke gets that touchdown, if that field goal wasn't blocked, if they'd gotten another touchdown, it would not have just simply played out where Rodgers would have only had 24 points or the Packers would only have 24 points because they would have played with more urgency. But they were just I felt that they were just kind of cruising. They just offensively they did what they had to do just to kind of keep the distance.
And now look, they don't have Devontae Adams for Thursday. See?
Yeah, well, or Joe Barry. Maybe that's a good thing though.
Not for us.
You will, however, if you're listening to this, you will, however, have us on Wednesday live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch But you don't have to wait that long because tomorrow morning, After the Whistle with Renee Washington will be premiering at 6:45, I think is what I schedule at, maybe 6:30 in the morning.
I'm going to be asleep.
Is when it'll be premiering. So you can watch that, check that out. Great conversation with the 3-time All-American soccer player and current reporter and anchor with ESPN, former Washington football team employee.
Yes, sir.
So we are sponsored by Pacers Running. Get out there and, get your run on. If you're not a runner, it's fine. Just talk with some of their experts. They'll set you up with the right shoes, and maybe you will be. Pacers Running for every run. This is our Day After Reckoning. I'm Nathan Perry. That's the stoner down below me. And we got Trevor in the house.
Bang,
and
bang.
Until next time, be a fan.
Be a fan.
We love Washington, and we some die-hard fans. Yeah, we are. You know we keep it on 10. Let's talk about the offense. 1, 2, 3, let's go. And they gifted. We are ref the district. Podcast. Come on now and join us.